Hello and happy Tuesday, everyone. Um, Everything is going fine. The horrors are endless. But so too, you know, poison spiders. Just gotta look on the poison spider side of things sometimes and remember, that they're more important than we are, than you are personally. Yes, I do mean this as a personal, direct attack on you, the viewer. Um, Poison spiders obviously serve a more important function, not to like ecology or the environment, but to the greater soul of the world. You know, yeah, the greater soul of the world is better served by poison spiders than it is by, well, randoms. Let's see. Not to say that you're particularly random. I mean, every human being has a, you know, there's we have organization. It's part of us. It's a, the word organ comes from the fact that we have organization within us. So that's gonna count for something, I would imagine. Something, something physics, maybe something physics related. Um, we are on normal mode, so you can expect, things to be excessively normal in this episode. Since I've been standing around, we have got some pumpkins and some watermelons now growing. We've got our first harvest of wheat and beets and carrots. So I think we're actually doing pretty good now as far as food is concerned. Yeah, that like little bit of AFK really does wonders. So yeah, very happy days. Very happy days. How has your week been? Has it been good? Has it been stressful? Has it been morally ambiguous? Has it been full of primordial terror? Let me know in the comments. What's been going on. I do feel that the primordial terror is quite big lately. She's all the rage. She's had a glow up, I believe, is what the youth of today would call it. Yeah, primordial terror is it's what's happening. It's what's happening. So my purpose right now in doing all of this is actually to address the next tree type in the series, which is going to be one of either warped or crimson. Warped or crimson. Nylium is the soil type, I think, so it's got to be something else. But in order to do that, we are going to need to start making obsidian blocks. So I've got this. I know that there is some more iron somewhere, but honestly, for now, I think the way that I'm going to approach this is I'm going to take some pointed dripstone from the cave and start making my nether portal in this cherry biome. So I'm actually going to go back to the first house, and in order to really put the loop on the bow, tie the knot on the ribbon, or whatever the expression is, I'm going to bring a solid block of the last 3 tree types I've done, because I think I did one for birch, but I haven't done oak or acacia. I hope I'm right, because I very well could be, one of the other words, like, evil, emotionally reactive, undiagnosed bipolar disorder, one of these things that, my haters and detractors will call me to seek to besmirch, my good name, my good, loyal to poison spiders name. And I won't stand for that, bipolar disorder or not, and there's there's other things, there's other words that can be said, there's other sentences yet, to fabricate from the base components of reality, and I just think that's important. There's always things, there's always qualia, observable phenomenon, components to the universe. It's always made of something, and that stuff is always moving. Reminds me of that one time I dropped acid in an apartment building, like 21 stories up, and I was like looking at the bathroom floor, and I saw the worms of reality itself shifting and intertwining with the interlocking mechanisms of the gears of dots and swirls and patterns that seem to constantly echo and rearrange on the tile. So if Kiso is listening, hello Kiso. I hope I wasn't too weird, but I'm pretty sure I'm always too weird. So, there isn't really a point at which people get used to it, I've noticed. Let's see, there is birch and oak and acacia to be collected. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more axe energy in this situation, in this eventuality, in this particular qualion, if one would like to use such a stupid word, for such a simple concept. We've got a little bit more lava, so that's good. That's going to increase the rate at which we can start generating more lava in the other place. But for now, I just need a little bit of cobble. Not the city, not the location, not the not the qualion. I guess I could still even just reuse that. Not the coordinates. But that's too practical almost. Is not quite the right word, but it's sufficient to suffice. Look at that. Look at that little blue-green blobby guy. Big fan. Enormous, gigantic fan. A little axe energy. Never hurt anybody except for the people who have been harmed by axes, and by acts of. Just acts of. Acts off, acts of, all of the above. Only sleep at night. Well, why do you think I waited till it started getting dark? It's a very silly situation. We can definitely make some oak wood for the tower with this. I don't want to plant this up here though. I would much rather wait until we're back down on the plains, but I don't really want to walk around in this. Let's get that back into the corner, hey? undiagnosed schizophrenia, you know. There's all kinds of, fancy psychological jargon that people will start throwing your way when they realize that you aren't going to cooperate with them just for the sake of them knowing psychobabble. So they'll immediately use it to pathologize you and make you into their enemy so that you can then be more easy to control. Almost as a neat little nod to the purpose and functioning of psychology and pseudo-intellectualism as it relates to society. You know? Who benefits from society? The people who already have the most power? Who says what is neurotypical? The people who were normal enough and beneficial enough to society at large to get the psychology degree. You know? It's a symptom of stability, it's a symptom of money, it's a symptom of power. So just because somebody knows that language does not make them a good person. It does not make their intentions good. It does not make their arguments rational, logical, reasonable, correct. I would go so far as to say that it should raise scrutiny. One's ears should perk up, especially when a close friend starts unilaterally pathologizing certain aspects of yourself. Think to yourself, is this person saying this because they genuinely have some concern for my well-being and the well-being of our relationship? Or are they saying this because they simply, personally, disagree with you, and it's easier to ogreize or pathologize someone than it is to have a healthy disagreement with them? Very lighthearted topics today. Here is what I was hoping to do. I thought that you could make stairs that way. Stone stairs. Maybe there's like a wood version of the stone cutter now for chopping wood and making wood stairs. But I don't know it, so I'm just gonna go with what I know. Here, I think this should go this way, and this should go this way. So then that looks like a little couch, and I don't really like that. But what I can do is I can go like this. Oh, I like that bush. Yeah, exactly unlike, the other bush. The weapons of mass destruction bush. I mean, there's good bush out there. Don't get me wrong. It's just not that bush. It's that bush. It was that bush. But now that bush is gone, so we're left to fill in the broken pieces of our lives from what happens to be left over in the aftermath. And I think I'm going to make some sticks this way and make a little bit of fence action. Just a bit, not a crazy amount, but just enough to let the industry know I mean business. Here we go. There's this, there's that. Then there's this. So I want to get from this level to this level, but I don't want to get rid of this block of Podzol. So I might just have to... I think I'm just going to have to suck it up, I think is what they say. It's the phrase. There may be the name of a certain flower, you know, imposed in that whole narrative. If you know the name of that flower, please open your front door, walk outside where your neighbors can see you, and scream it at the top of your lungs into the hungry darkness of the mid-afternoon, you know, the late morning, the early second dusk, you know, the perpetual Arctic twilight, if you happen to be, you know, watching this episode from a Arctic research base. Bonus points if there is a mysterious creature hunting you who wears the faces of those you know and calls your name at night, desperately begging to be allowed back in to the series of trailers which make up your dwelling place. Even more bonus points if it is impersonating a dog or other beloved pet that has been a regular part of your experience of this particular research station. How does that look? I think that looks nice. That gives us lots of storage space down here, and then we've even got like extra torches. So I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take this and put it like there. I could even do something a little bit fancy and do like that. And maybe if I do that, then there's like, it does kind of limit, so it corrals you into the right direction, even though it isn't actually going necessarily in the right direction. But I don't know if you can go through that corner like, okay, no, that's nice. So that creates like a little bit of a boot room, a little bit of an alcove. So if you do get chased in by like some monsters or creepers or something, there is like a little bit of a respite just before, like once they get in, there's like a little bit of space to maybe shoot them with an arrow or something. Yeah, you know, it's always important to consider the many uses of violence in all scenarios in one's life. This is something that Dalai Lama, you know, probably wouldn't like if I said that, but, you know, well, one of us is still alive, and, well, I hope two of us are still alive, because it's a title, it's not an individual person. You know, I mean, if you ask firm adherents, you know, he never really died, he simply reincarnated. So I assume, you know, there are different options, different models, different makes, different brands when reincarnates. Toyota, Hyundai, Prius, you know, Ford Bronco, maybe, if that's real. That might not be real, you know. Please hurl a rock, you know, in the nearest direction that you can think of, if that's a real thing, a Ford Bronco. I think we've got a good little collection of wood types going. We've got what we need for acacia. We had what we needed for spruce. I'm just gonna grab a couple more saplings, I think. But first I'm gonna actually just grab the wood, because that is the thing I want first and foremost. You know, first and foremost. For most of my life, I've been living in a fool's paradise. Been spending most of my life inside, within, you know, a fool's paradise. A paradise, you know, 2 dice. Anyway, that's enough word association for one day. Too bad you're gonna get so much more of it, because it's the only thing I can think to do sometimes. Does seem as though the night is coming upon us. So I think the solution is to either go... I think I just have to make up my mind which house I'm going to. So I'm going to this one. Why? Well, because I made up my mind. You know, I fabricated my mind. I fabricated the raw material of my mind. It's such a strange phrase, isn't it? To make up one's mind. But it's even stranger to think, where does the energy come from to make up one's mind? Where does that actually, what is the source of that? Because decision making takes energy. Like, I'm definitely not speaking in an uwu context. People tasked with decision making, I'm speaking from memory, but I do believe this is verifiable, so I'll go ahead and say it. People tasked with making decisions have an increased cognitive load. Like, you can actually, was it blood sugar? You know what? The problem with knowing concepts, especially scientific concepts, is it's very easy to say something in a way that makes it sound like you know what you're talking about. So I am going to resist the temptation just this once and not run my my whatever, you know, about it. I'm not gonna do that. So we've got one tree that extends down to the base. This tree could extend down, but I honestly kind of just like the way that that looks, and I don't really want to change it. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm here for a 1-hour episode, because that feels like much more reasonable, much more enjoyable to watch. And I know I've kept threatening over the last, numerous episodes to maintain a 1-hour format. I just need to actually do it. I've finished my move now. I'm in the new place. It's nice. I'm on the upstairs. I'm not on a basement. It's mid-August, so it is like pretty hot outside, and I am sweltering a little bit. I usually keep the window wide open, but you know. The window doesn't always need to be open. There is a lot of traffic. Something I've been contending with bravely for all of you in internet land. Alright. There is one other wood type that I wanted to grab. So far in this series, like in this survival world, we've done cherry, we've done birch, we've done oak, we've done acacia, and spruce. So I have acacia, I have spruce, there are oak trees, there are birch trees, both nearby. I think I want to grab those oak trees that I've planted, so I can kind of preserve a bit of the landscape as it originally generated. But I am running a little low on the old patience, and maybe it's time. Maybe it's just time to, maybe it's just time. There we go. That's a lot of sticks. I mean, they will grow back, and I only need 4. So I think I'm actually going to go for that tree out in the acacia biome, because I don't know where it actually came from. I don't know if it's generated with the world or if it's one that I planted, because I did plant a number of oak trees in this area last episode. Am I being a little bit neurotic? A little bit psychopathic? A little bit, osteo-eclectic? Maybe. I haven't seen that form of... Well, that's adorable. That's the weirdest little spruce tree I've ever seen. That's very cute. Very demure. Very, very cool. Very satisfying. I am 98 to 99.5% sure that I have brought a birch block to the totem, but I'm still gonna go and grab one, just out of an abundance of caution. I guess it's gonna have to be there, right? Okay, that's fine. And there, for good measure. That should give it a nice little, I don't know, just containment. I'm probably going to do something with this village just to make it a little bit more cozy, a little bit more homey, make it look a little nicer. That looks like a salmon, like salmon steaks or something. You know when they do those nice decorative little arrangements? You do a salmon steak and then there's like some herbs, like sprinkled in the middle. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from that. It's very good. Impeccable, even. Not possible to be packed. Which, is a good thing. We have more sticks, more ladders, beetroot seeds. Okay, so I was going to grab enough birch to make another block. Because actually, I have been thinking, and in the totem, did do stripped birch blocks, and that's not really what I want. What I want is, I want all of the tree types, like as a I don't know, normal block of wood. And I've got my lava. Okay, I've got my lava. There are abundant stalactites in the new cave. I'm definitely going to have like a stalactite growing room or something similar. And I think that's gonna be really nice. But look at this. We have so much like dark here, and a lot of friendly zombies, to light our way, to guide us, to give us inspiration and hope and peace and joy and all of those good things. Yeah, if zombies were willing, if zombies were willing to form an alliance of mutually beneficial relationship and exchange, I would be happy. I would be happy to. The first time they encounter me in a new world, they always attack right away. So I don't feel uncomfortable characterizing them as the aggressor in that situation, although there are many layers to every story, and all stories are valid. Some stories just happen to be my own. And I, unlike, the aforementioned Dalai Lama, am not infinite in patience or grace, and it is possible to, to press my buttons, if I may use such strong language. I hope YouTube doesn't demonetize me, censor me, require age verification on this video using your face, your real human face that they get to know just for the sake of determining your age, which can't be determined by a face alone. They'd have to take a bone marrow sample. That's what they should start doing. They should start requiring a sample of bone marrow so they can count the growth rings in your bones and then know how old you are, so they can decide if it's okay for you to know about things that no one gets to decide if they're old enough to experience. Real human people go through death, uncomfortable situations, horrible situations. Oh, but we just won't talk about those things. That will solve it. The only thing that it solves is it makes it easier for abusive people and abusers to prey on others. So when you see members of Congress, in countries that have Congress, not naming any countries, obviously, that would be political content. To name a country. We couldn't do that. That's why all of our countries are simply, as they are. We don't actually have names for countries anymore. That would be too political. Let me just point at a map and say, that one. Okay. I gotta sleep because I have very limited food and very limited health. So it doesn't really give me an option right now. But I do have, I had potatoes. I forgot to go in. Can beets? No. Can carrots? No. Bread? I could make bread. I could make a little bit of bread. That wouldn't really be enough to solve the problem, but I might at least delay it slightly. Very slightly. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know what you can make. I think it's beetroot soup, and I hope it's this simple. I really hope it's no. What's the recipe? Beetroot soup. It requires just 5 of the same. So you can't just eat one beet. That's unbearable. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and make some beets. Because we've got cropland. It's just underground. So let's go do that. Okay. We've got this, we've got that. We might as well just expand this out a little bit. But I know what I ultimately want here is I want this to be where I generate lava. So at some point I'm going to have to switch gears on this space, but I think I'm going to start with this area here for lava generation and make like some iron, and then on top of the cherry I'm going to make my portal. And for this one I honestly think it's probably best. It's probably for the best of all involved, and definitely for my own sanity, if I just let the episode be what it is once we reach the point where we've made a portal. So this is the space that all the cauldrons are going to go in. And I need to ditch the lava in these buckets. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to need water. Oh wow, I'm really glad that it created a... That's very frustrating. Alright, here. There. That's where I wanted to have it. And now I have an extra inventory space. And I need a crafting table. And like, wouldn't you know it, I have a stripped birch log. I actually kind of like the birch wood. It'd be nice to do something with it in this area. I'm going to have a crafting table, so it's going to have to go somewhere. I think this is a good place for it. I can make what I was trying to make, and I can make a little bit more space for like these beetroot seeds. So, yeah, that's worth something, right? It's not much, it's just beetroot seeds, but it is something. Okay, so there's a cauldron. Did I pick it up? No. Let's try this. So I have the inventory space again. And that. And then a little bit of iron. But most importantly, actually, let's start with this stuff. This stuff's good, because we can now, if I have stone, I can fill in those gaps, and I can make this work. So what I'm going to do is I want this to be at this level, so I want this to be at this level, and then lava to be above. So I actually want to get rid of this. It's going to be lava here, so it's going to be this here, and it's going to be this here, and then in order to complete the pattern, we're going to want this and this, so we're going to want this and this, and now we're generating what we need to generate, you know? I actually really wanted to get the lava. I want the lava bucket, not the other bucket. I'm not really worried about the other bucket right now. I think I'm just going to play it safe and do this one, and this, and this. So you'll notice that it's now dripping, so I want a cauldron there to actually take advantage of that. And we've got the buckets to follow through. So we've got some carrots there, we've got some beetroot seeds, we've got some beets. That's okay, we've got enough for a bed, we've got some extra saplings, we might as well keep them around. It's good to have at least one, you know, of most types of saplings. I think we've actually, yeah, we've got everything, we've got one of everything. And I want to keep it that way. I do want to have like a library, and eventually just fill it up with every sapling. Of course, we can't do that so quickly. And the other advantage of like going to the Nether first rather than finding other biomes on the overworld is as soon as we get to the Nether, we can fast travel, so we get a lot more options. Let's go faster, further, faster, stronger, good, faster, da, 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 something, you know. And then there's like that music. It's like all vibey and like crunchy. Very, very big fan. Alright, so we've got a little pumpkins, a little bit of snows. Yeah, okay. So a little bit mining and a little bit cauldroning. This tower I can definitely replace, but I didn't want to actually replace all of it. I definitely want at least this to be there, and I want this to be there, and I want this to be there, and I want to eat this, and also, like, I have so much watermelon. Like, let's go ahead and actually, you know, let's actually recover, you know, let's actually focus on healing instead of just dealing, or greebling instead of just dealing. You know, there are multiple things that a human soul must do in order to nourish and maintain itself. Greebling and deebling are the two most important, but I'm sure there are many spiritual practices which will add to that list, but none which will contradict it. No credible religion denies the importance of greebling and deebling. So, just take that for what you will, because I don't think that, you know, every religion that's credible could be wrong. Greebling and deebling, therefore, must be extremely important. That's just my take, anyway. Oh, I like that. That actually turned out quite nice. Okay, so when I said on top of this house, I do mean on top of this house. I do want this to go quite high up, and since we've got the dirt, we might as well just make this as tall as we can now, and put the portal nice and high up now, so we actually have like a chance to yeah, to look out on the domain from our portal room. And look at that red. Oh, that looks like beautiful, with just that little bit of like the sunset glimmer and like the mountains all around. Wow, this is gonna be great from, you know, a reasonable vantage point. I'm gonna make it this more of like a drop or fall ladder situation, because I don't think I can. Oh well. I think I can. Oh, well. At least I know where I fell. Alright. Does fill my hunger meter up, so maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. It's definitely nice to have a context where I can take a very laissez-faire attitude towards death. So what was that? It was clearly a creature. But what kind? I saw a zombie, but it's not quite nighttime, so it feels a little unfair that there are zombies already. I was planning to go and do some mining, so I think I'm going to carry on with that plan. Do a little bit of mining, make another cauldron, and then deal with this guy. that's not ideal. Okay, he's definitely following me. I just gotta move faster than he can follow, and hopefully he'll despawn. I do think that creeper will despawn. I do think so. Okay, and then... Okay, I remember where I was going to mine that iron from. I'm definitely leaving those emeralds until I have a very advanced level of enchantment. It just doesn't seem, you know, smart or reasonable to, I don't know, just to go for them before you have, like, good return on investment. And I might also want the ore block itself, although that is less of a consideration, because I'm a much bigger fan of the deep slate ores. I think they're an incredible decoration block. You know, black is just a good black backdrop for any color. So I think that's why it's hard to beat visually. It's just particularly stunning, striking. This gray is just like, it's pretty neutral, pretty muted. Although gray and green is a good color combo. It's got like a little bit of a mossy, like the cairns and fields kind of look. There we go. Skeleton archers. Skeleton archers are my bane in every lifetime. I had torches, I had sticks, so clearly I am causing myself a bit of a troublement. That's probably unnecessary. Oh great, no, that's definitely what I wanted to do. Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. Let's get away from this zombie. Oh great, no, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Okay. Alright, well, I guess we've just got to contend with what is. Flaming zombie, you know, picking its way down the hill through the sunshine that should be burning it alive, but no. We've just decided that today, sunshine will not cause it any trouble. Yeah. The irony of the fire, like, making zombies more dangerous for a little bit. It used to be zombies just despawn or something, I think. No, don't quote me on that. I'm totally wrong. I'm like, probably wrong about that. But feel free to believe everything I say. Even if I say, you know, that I'm wrong about something, I'm probably actually correct about it. So, and you can quote me on that. But why would you? You know? Accountability is like lame and dumb and like for losers. Things like that. Also something that Dalai Lama was like, I don't know, probably thought at one point. Probably. But, you know, everyone talks about the Dalai Lama. Nobody talks about the, you know, the other one. I don't know, the guy, you know, Guy Fieri. Everyone talks about the Dalai Lama. Nobody talks about Guy Fieri. And I think that's unfair. Unfury. I don't think it's nice of them that they don't talk about Guy Fieri. Because he's also a pretty cool guy, and he's got some good ideas, and I think he should be in charge of the Department of Defense. That's my firm, unshakable, brutal, repressive belief. die on that hill, is the thing. Oh, I really just wanted 30,000 zombies to get right in my face the moment I, tried to do anything. It's great game design. That's what game design is. 30,000 zombies in full armor right in your face the moment you try to do anything, even a little bit interesting, even a little bit. So, congratulations. The game's hard now. Was I being silly? Did I put myself in that situation? Yeah. Is it really important to remind people, over and over and over again, they're putting themselves in a dangerous or uncomfortable situation? Maybe if someone's putting themselves in an uncomfortable and dangerous situation over and over again, maybe they just like danger and discomfort. Maybe they hate it. Maybe they're doing it as a form of self-harm, And I respect that. I don't say I agree with it. I just respect it. Whee! Oh, it's on me. There's definitely ways to approach this. This is definitely a way to approach this that I've gone and chosen. So we have... Oh, this is incredibly annoying. Hello, I see you. I just don't care. I don't care that you're zombies. You are like... You're like Jehovah's Witnesses. It's just the way it is. But I guess now I have a crown. A little crown. So, I feel like the princess allegations, I might not beat them. Maybe I just am a princess. And maybe, what does that mean? What are the broader implications of this? I don't know. Like, ask somebody else, please. Okay, don't be late. Don't be, like, lame. Oh, there's my watermelon. That's good. I see you. Yes, I know. Oh my goodness. You're shooting me with arrows and you're attacking me with your dumb fists. You're a very annoying guy, okay? You are very annoying. Everything you do is annoying. You're making me unhappy. Good job, little zombie. Good job. You're so great at being the most annoying little guy. Why do I do this to myself? There could be reasons. This is the thing people don't think about. When people are psychologically unstable, verbally abusive, have bad breath, people don't think. There could be reasons. And I think society, and furthermore, and yeah, I think I've made my point. Okay, so there's that helmet. There are my buckets, so that's good. There's these torches. I do like that a great deal. That's 25 iron. That's not something I want to give up so easily. There's my boo. How many times have I died in this episode? Does it look like 7? Okay, so this is absolutely Hall of the Mountain King sort of deal. Very big fan of this. Is that zombie going to be able to get up? I kind of am just hoping no. I believe the answer is no. On what do I base that belief? Faith, obviously. Faith in all of the world's religions that are credible, that say creebling and deebling are the most important things. Yeah. finally figured out how to deal with creepers. With their creebling and deebling wings. Alright, where's that bow? Oh, I don't need it. Alright. Oh. I hope that, that friendly Enderman isn't upset with me. I don't think so. I'm just not gonna look. And I think he'll leave me alone. Alright, so I want this one. I just want this one. I want this one. Like, I don't really like falling on piles of spikes, so I kind of think it might actually just be best for me if I, like, clear these out on purpose. Because, like, why not? I don't think after world generation they keep growing from the bottom, but I actually don't know. So, you know, go figure, go fetch, go play, you know, some kind of artistic rendition of Beethoven's, you know, it's fifth maybe. Was there like, did he do like more than 5 symphonies? You know, Beethoven's something symphony, you know? Beethoven's like, he probably did 1, you know, Beethoven's like 1st symphony. I don't know, I mean, was he that prolific? 1 is a lot of symphonies. I feel like it's a lot. Did he do like, I think he was a chef. Much to think about. Much to consider. Poison spiders. Poison spiders. Poison spiders. Poison. There has to be a point at which they die, you know? There has to be. They can't just, you know, take endless pickaxe blows to the head. I honestly feel like they should be easier to kill. But I did set the difficulty. Why did I do that? Well, have you considered there might be reasons? Yeah, I bet you feel bad right now, huh? That's the point. That's not actually to like convey information. It's just to make you feel bad about yourself. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Fart. Fart. That's a pig. That's a pig. That's fine. That's hello, officer. Alright. I think we're alright. Oh, I can't sleep because there are... The reason for sleep is present. The reason sleep is necessary is present. So I can't sleep. Because then you might sleep. And that would be bad, because that would solve the problem. Whew. There's like literally not much. There's like literally not that many monsters out right now. I really don't want that to be open. But there's something. What is that? Is that a skeleton? Skeleton just shot at me. Oh, come on. Have some maturity. You know? For... Oh, you silly guy. No, here, let me just eat. Okay, let me have a snack. And I'll come say hi. Okay. Thank you for the pumpkin pie, or whatever it was that you came to offer me. You know, out of the generosity of your heart. You jerk. No. No. I just want to sleep through the night. Because now if I don't sleep through the night, you know, there's going to be those, like, nightmares, whatever they're called. Those guys. Okay. Well. I can't believe that worked. Oh, that wasn't it. That that wasn't enough now? Well, at this point I might as well just light up this whole valley with these torches, because I'm not sleeping either way. Extremely distressing situation I found myself in. I've kind of created a door to my house that actually might as well not be there. Okay. But if monsters don't know I'm here, then it's like kind of different. Okay, I drew them off. See? That was my brilliant strategy. You know? Sun Tzu, you're dumb and not very smart, and I'm cool, and you're like kinda not that cool. So there, and yeah. Okay, I have got everything that I need to start like sort of shoveling material for a cauldron together, so I think I'm just gonna do that before I do anything else, because like why not? Let's go and use this iron for its intended purpose. We can definitely go and collect more lava, because I am certain that that will have filled up by now. I'm just surprised there's not more iron like hiding out in one of these chests, but maybe I went and took it all, or maybe I left some here. I can definitely, you know, sharecrop this and get this to go a little faster. I know I have more furnaces, so I can definitely do more in that respect. Have we got any watermelons? Do we get any melons growing here? I think that stem is like almost done. There's some carrots, so that's something. There's some wheat, so that's something. And also just carrots. Also just carrots. Yeah, little carrot mode, little carrot action, little carrotification, little you know? Yeah. No, the 1 hour mark has passed. If I hadn't died so much, it might have been a little easier, but you know, where would be the fun in not endless suffering and death? I ask you, I beg of you, you know, the beg of you. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. I have a Patreon if you want to throw me a couple dollars to help me keep making these videos and keep spreading the good word about poison spiders and not falling off of this giant precipitous cliff thing that I am on now. This precipice of, I guess you don't really call it a cliff, you call it a pinnacle. I'm rambling extensively. The state of the world is, don't think about it. It'll be fine. Maybe. It probably won't be, but, you know, Earth has been through how many mass extinction events? You know, Mars has only been through, well, if there was life on it, at one point, it did have fresh water, and now it doesn't have fresh water anymore, so it only made it through one extinction event. So that doesn't mean that, you know, that Earth, you know, any extinction event that's happened could have been the last one. There's no guarantees in life, except, thank you to my long-term supporter on Patreon, Sasha. Go read my manga. symbiosister.com. It's linked in the description. Check out my Patreon. Form a parasocial relationship with me. And remember, no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, no matter what your situation in life, no matter the challenges you're faced with, no matter the fascist bullshit that you have to deal with, no matter the climatic reality of nearly vertical temperature change that requires that we ban all fossil fuels now for the sake of our own lives. It is always Tuesday, and have a great day.